We left off over here, Yud Zayin, second column, bottom, Yud Zayin. Perkamad Sota. Dorsher Viro Zim Nomado Mishmei Ami Zim Nomado Mishmei Ravas Kol Odom Sheish Pegasus Ruach the Sof Mismait. Person who's haughty ultimately will be lessened, will be minimized. You see it? Bottom paragraph, yeah. Shenema Rumo Ma'at. If you're exalted, Mat, you can be made little, small. Yochol Yeshneba Odom. Maybe when he's made, he's diminished, he'll still exist. Talmud Loma Ve'inenu. It'll reach what he knows, he's going to pass on. Vim Chosebo Nesat Min Olam Bismano. And if he does tshuva, he'll leave, he'll die in his time. Shenemar V'humchu Kol Yikbutzun Kavram Yitzov Yaakov. I mean, he'll pass away in his time. If he doesn't stop, he'll be minimized to the point where ultimately he'll be taken from the world. If he doesn't back down from his arrogant stance. But if he does tshuva, then even though he's minimized, he'll live out his years. Tichsibu bakol, mikol, kol vimlav. And if not, kiroshi bol shimolu. He'll be like cut off like the top of a sheep. What is the top of the sheep? Rafunav rabchiz charoma kisaso kidishibalto. Charoma kishibalto atzmo. It's the question is how, you know, at top of a kernel you have like a hair. Looks like hair coming up. It's nothing. You'll be like shaved off like nothing. The other one's a little more substantial. If you say it's at the top of the sheave, it's a little more substantial. So the pasuk says, like you'll be cut off like the top of the shibolas. Yimolu means cut off. Mandium shibalta atzmo, mayil uchroshi bolas yimolu. Amravashi chayton rebishmoel, Moshe laodom, shenichlas tov sadeu. Person enters into his field, gavo humalakit. Meaning, what does a person usually pick? What's higher. So he just takes it. He doesn't have to bend down. Shofel einim malak. What's on the ground, close to the ground. In adkan pirush tovazer. Mishim is gadil atzmo. A person who, what does it mean? You ingratiate yourself. You inflate yourself. The word inflating means what? You're supposed to be at a certain level. You push the envelope to a higher level. You inflate yourself. Mishim is gadil atzmo who hagidul azet tosefes masharoy lios. This is something which is in addition to what you're supposed to be. You're meant to be this, you go to another level. No, we're not saying this is something like that. You don't belong there. It's tosefes. You know, we say regarding what the Gemara says in culling, that if an animal is born with an extra lobe on the lung, it's a treifa. Because more is less. That's an abnormality. It's a treifa. So to be more than you're supposed to be, that's tosefes. You're supposed to be this, like a person is 8 feet tall. It's an abnormality. The abnormal person must be this height. So what about if you're that, and now you behave as if you're more? Then definitely it's an abnormality. One second. B'chol tosefes ubemes chisoren. That's, and he quotes the Gemara Chulin. Chenomer kol tosefes kol yesek kinotu. It's like it's removed. So if you remove that lobe, it's like you have part of the lung cut off. If an animal is born with an extra leg, the animal's a treifa. Because just as something which is superfluous, something which is added to what's not supposed to be added, that's what? That's a deficiency. That's why ultimately it's going to undermine him. It'll cause his demise. To what degree will it be? A treifa, lingers on. Somebody's deficient. It functions at a deficient level. This deficiency will ultimately destroy him. He says specifically gaiva, arrogance, haughtiness. It has no relevance to existence. It's literally, it's artificial. The man created something which is not real. You're acting arrogantly. It's not real. It's your behavior. Since this additional position you took on is not reality regarding a person, ultimately it's not going to be. What about if he does tshuva? Nesav Bismano, who passed away in his time, Kavram Yaakov Shinivruchu Bakol Mikokol, Pirushki Obas Shinivruchu Bakol. The Obas had everything, right? It says Hashem Berach Avram Bakol. Bakol, he had everything. Ain't Svar Loma Klal Shoy Echod Mes Kodem Zmano. Shimkei Lo Hoyakan Kol Kasher Hoyakan Chisorin. Right? He says the Obas HaKadoshim, even though Avram Avinu passed away before his time, passed away before. Avram passed away 5 years. I understand that. Ain't Svar Loma Klal Shoy Echod Mes Kodem Zmano. It's not even consideration any one of the others who passed away before his time. Shimkei Lo Yakan Kol Kasher Hoyakan Chisorin. Beim Nizborchu Bakol Bikol Kol. Lekach im Choser Bo Nesab Zmano Kom Avram Tzchum Yaakov Shemitzad Shebirchosom Bakol Ein Chisorim Miyad Bom. The blessing that they have Bakol means they're not susceptible for diminishment. That's the bracha. It's not even consideration they should pass away before their time. But the bracha Bakol means that they're not vulnerable to anything which will diminish them. So this person does tshuva, and he, from his arrogance, will be reinstated to that. It's like, give you an example, it's like a leaf. A leaf ultimately falls off. What's the function of a leaf? But a leaf has value. It protects the fruit. When the fruit reaches a certain degree of development, the leaf has no value any longer, correct? That's when the leaf falls off. Here, he says, the shiboles, it has this hair that comes on top. It has no function. And because it has no function, it's the first thing that falls off. The same thing, because it's something which is not, in essence, part of the kernel or part of the sheaf. It's just the first thing to fall off. The leaf, this is not, has nothing to protect it. It's just like an outgrowth. It's like a shoot that comes up, a hair that extends beyond the sheaf itself. It must have some function, but it's not an obvious. Maybe it wards off insects. I don't know what it is. But in terms of the weed itself, the sheaf, it looks like something which is superfluous. It's above it. It's the first thing to be cut off. But really, the comparison is because it protrudes. It extends itself. It extends itself beyond what's noticeable as the sheaf. Gaiva is you're this, and you're extending yourself beyond what you should be. What's very delicate, thin, on top of the sheaf, that's the first thing to go. That's the first thing to break off and to fall. The arrogant person who he extends himself, he inflates himself, because he ingratiates himself more than he is appropriate. The zkan hashibolis, it's like the zkan, like the beard. It means it looks like shu kalipo, falls easily. To be continued.